cod might need further investigation. Stand by.
Hey, Tyler here. Just killing time this morning, getting ready to do B-Stars in a little bit when it gets brighter out. I don't want to do it now, but yeah, when it gets brighter, I'll do it. It's about all I can really say. I'm going to have breakfast in a little bit, which will be a Pop-Tart, or have toast. One of the two. I don't know yet, but still, I'm just relaxing right now, having a lovely morning. Woke up a little bit ago, and not really doing much. Just gonna have this lovely morning, doing nothing except talk to you guys. If anyone does show up on the channel, and that's about it. And that's about all I'm doing today. Finally, the trash got picked up yesterday, which is good. But yeah, not really much is happening today. Ooh, maybe I'll go out later and do something. Get a milk. Yeah, I gotta do that too, but I'm going to daylight to do that. So just get behind for a little bit, then do some B-Stars. Maybe go out later and get milk, and who knows. Or not. I think that's thunder. We may be out for a while. Thunder! Thunder! If I do go out, I'm going to make sure I put some pants on first. If it's thunder, so I'm not going out. I'm going to go out with a little bit, but right now I'm going to do something else. Maybe do some gaming later, who knows. But I will get at least one episode of B-Stars done today. I know that for a fact. I'm sorry about the carpet vision, the way everything looks like the carpet vision stuff. But yeah. I'm just relaxing right now, having fun. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do right now. The allergy. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
The original Zephyr's operators elected to join Amtrak, which eventually led to the train's current routing and service. Chevy Equinox has been ranked #1.
I don't care about Chevys. They all look exactly the same now. What has the engine?
In other words, it's really good right from the start. Chevy Equinox, connected by OnStar. Connecting every front by staying at the forefront of innovation. The new standard 21st century security, Lockheed Martin.
After
my eyes hurt. We were heading for Utah, the spectacular Ruby Canyon, whose red rocks impressed us as we
allergies.
Promised jackalopes among the bushes. Now, despite our best efforts, we never did see any of those rabbit-like animals with antlers.
It's hot, and it's just the allergies are just bad. And the allergy pill.
Dinner approached. Sean went with the chicken marsala. I chose the chicken fettuccine. And the cod grew in popularity, with Alan jumping on the bandwagon and Craig opting for it a second time. Was this a fluke or a trend? More to come. And this was not to be a late night for me. Sadly, I slept through Utah, part of Nevada. But after a great long night's sleep, I woke up near Winnemucca, Nevada, about 5:45 Pacific time, just as the sun was coming up. And like the day before, I headed straight for the observation car, stopping just long enough to get a cup of coffee.
I'm going to.
Actually, I slept better than the night before, and now just kind of enjoying a little bit of coffee in the observation car, kind of get some work done, and bring your breakfast in 2 minutes. It's important to know there's no Wi-Fi available out here, so you're well served to use this trip as an opportunity to unplug and relax. Before we knew it, the sun was up and breakfast was on the table. I started with yogurt and followed it up with a breakfast sandwich. Both were exactly what you'd expect them to be, just fine. Craig chose the omelet and offered an interesting description. And with questions still floating through my mind, I decided it was time to head back to my room. Well, Suzanne, your creative director, my fiance, is meeting us in San Francisco. So that means it's time to do something I've never done before. This is the first time I've ever taken a shower on a train. Here goes nothing. Not only were the instructions intimidating, but the advice to try it seated was made even more unpleasant by the fact that the seat was a toilet. I secured the curtain, turned the knob, and nearly froze to death. Well, it was cramped and cold and difficult, but I can now say I have successfully taken a shower on a train. I do feel a lot more refreshed and ready to go. So it's still morning. I mean, it's only 7:35, and we don't get into Emeryville until later in the afternoon with 4 o'clock or so. So plenty more train to ride. I wondered how many of the passengers up there knew what they were missing out on down here. It was time for my first only
Anthony X.
in a classic example of beginner's luck. I won.
So there we go. I just got to post this help out. Help a little bit. But
I'm sorry to say I found a little disappointing. I've never been to Reno and would have loved to have seen at least a street or something, but this station is about 30 feet below and under threat of being left here forever. The conductor discouraged us from wandering too far. Oh well, there were some interesting historical artifacts inside. As we left, I asked to check out Sean's roomette. As you can see, with his bags, it's a little cramped. Now, there's also bag storage downstairs, just as an FYI. But we decided to invite Alan over to see how comfortable the two of them would be.
It's not bad. It's really, I mean, your feet up, you're comfortable. Yeah, with one person, it's outstanding.
Since that seemed to work, why not try it with 3 people?
I'll say this, 3 people in a roomette is a little bit, it's a little bit tight. Three grown men in a roomette is probably a bit too much.
And having gone our separate ways so we could breathe again, we were en route to the California border. First stop in the Golden State, Truckee. You know, I don't think there's anything quite as relaxing as just listening to a good audiobook and taking in the scenery.
Want to get the most out of one sheet? Grab Bounty. While ordinary brands can't hold up, one sheet of Bounty keeps working even when wet. Now that's the sound of Bounty. Bounty, quicker picker-upper.
Plant roots and watch them grow. Are you ready for the reserve?
We're just passing through the Donner Pass, which in the winter of 1846 into 47, the Donner Party came through here. They got stuck because of a number of factors. A bad winter, they left too late, they took a wrong turn, a lot of reasons. Unfortunately, some of them who survived had to resort to cannibalism. So it's a pretty grim chapter of U.S. history. Anyway, it's interesting to be right here in Donner Pass. We crept along at an interminable pace. Dragging this much machine up the Sierra Nevada is no easy task. But there's no need to rush it. With ever-changing views, the clip didn't really matter. It was soon time for lunch. The train was a lot emptier between Grand Junction and Emeryville, so we did not need a reservation.
I heard a lot about this cod, so this is the time.
And I was not the only one. All 4 of us ordered it.
Well, that truth. Tastes like fish sticks.
And we have our winner. The Jeb Score award-winning Amtrak Flexible Dining Meal of the Year award goes to the cod.
We're slowly making our way to Colfax, California, named for U.S. Grant's Vice President Schuyler Colfax. Little known fact there. And I really wish Amtrak would communicate with us about what's going on. I don't know if we're on time or we're delayed. The Track a Train featured on the Amtrak website seems to be down right now. So I'm kind of like not sure what the schedule is or what's going on. So that would be really nice if Amtrak were a bit more proactive with their communications. There's a big difference between this and the Southwest Chief, and that's this third day. So take the Southwest Chief from Chicago to LA. You wake up on the third day pretty much in Los Angeles. With this particular train, however, you wake up on the third day, you have basically a whole rest of that day to pass, because we don't get into Emeryville if it's on time until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's a much different travel experience in that regard. You sort of have to remember to think about how you're going to use today. And I've had a nice time.
So right now, there's nothing really happening right now, guys. I'm just getting ready to read B-Stars in a little bit. Just going to have to get my breakfast around first.
If you don't want to spend 52 hours on board, I'd recommend hopping on the train in Denver for the ride up to Grand Junction. That's a real highlight. But we're not done yet. Before too long, the Sacramento skyline came into view.
So, yeah.
We got out to stretch our legs one final time. We seemed to be gaining speed, or maybe time felt like it was moving more quickly. For whatever reason, the Bay Area was coming fast.
There's no doubt that the Zephyr lived up to its reputation as being the most scenic train in the United States. This journey has been breathtaking, practically from the first second we left Chicago. The views have been unlike anything I've ever seen from a train. From the Great Plains to the Rocky Mountains of Sierra Nevada, here to the Northern California. It's just such a stunning journey. We've still got a little bit of time before we make our way into Emeryville and on through to San Francisco.
The last few stops came quickly, and I gathered my things.
Here we are in Emeryville, last and final stop. Everybody's off here. Let's go.
Thanks to some incredible engineers and talented instructors, we arrived in Emeryville 40 minutes early. Getting into San Francisco required taking an Amtrak.
Might take a shower later, guys, but yeah.
After 52 hours and 19 minutes, we made it from Chicago to San Francisco and had an amazing adventure to boot.
Between now and the next time, see you on the rails. Hey, we're going on a train! You guys are really making some progress with their bags. Hopefully I'm a little bit more graceful.
I'm reading up on the rules of U-curves. I know you're very interested in those development and all that.
I think
Ow.
you know how we like to use tools and materials for purposes they were never intended for, right? Like transforming.
It's like second nature.
Well, now we have an entire episode devoted to Transformers.
Well, that's cool. Like what?
Well, we got one about a guy who supposedly took some 5-gallon water cooler jugs and converted a bicycle into a fully amphibious commute vehicle.
Sounds dubious, but fun.
But first up, we got an amazing story about a Frenchman stranded in the African desert in his little French car. This is the Citroën Deux Chevaux, except 2 of the wheels are busted. He uses the remaining 2 wheels and rebuilds this car into a motorcycle that he uses to ride back to civilization with. I think we should get ourselves a 2CV and try it ourselves.
Absolutely.
It's a tall tale of French transformation. Supposedly using nothing but hand tools and hope, a working motorcycle was made from a broken down car. But before any mechanical metamorphosis, the guys must start out by meeting the motor car from the myth, a 67 Citroën.
All right, picking up some speed here. Oh, but yeah, baby. Whoa. Now this is the actual car we are going to be turning, or trying to turn into a motorcycle. This car feels insane. It was originally conceived of by a Frenchman named Pierre-Jules Boulanger in 1935, but went into production in 1948. Come on, give me all your power. Between then and 1990, they made over 3.2 million of them. And his 425cc engine puts out a blistering 12 horsepower. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the Citroën Deux Chevaux.
Nice done, Tony.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's clearly not fast or furious. But for this motorcycle from Car Conundrum,
Let's inspect. Let's see what's going on under the hood here.
it'll be the car's adaptability that's key.
Where's the engine?
I have to say, if ever there was a car for turning into a motorcycle, it is this baby right here. And once you look under the hood, you can see why. There's very little there. I'm genuinely excited about getting our hands dirty in this thing and seeing what we can make happen.
So what are you thinking?
Well, we've run it through its paces and we know what it looks like mechanically. I can't think of anything else except for taking this out, stranding ourselves, and seeing if we can turn it into a motorcycle.
All right then. Road trip.
All right. Here we go. Off to Africa.
Ça simple, j'adore. Parfum de Dior.
I bought a new car, and weirdly for me this time, it's a fairly new one. It's only 4 years old, it only has 10,000 miles, and I bought it for $5,000. Also, did I mention it's electric? May I introduce to you my Twigo Life? Now, I don't really like to do this, but I'm going to talk about money. Now, I bought this car for $5,000, which may sound cheap, and it is, but it'll sound unfathomably cheap once I tell you the original sticker price on this car. Now, the base price on a Wigo, when it was new, was already unreasonably expensive, but this car is absolutely loaded with an option, so that rose the sticker price even more. The MSRP for this car was $35,990. That means in its short 4-year lifetime, it's lost 86% of its value. 86%. Let's be fair, they didn't pay the original sticker price when it was new, because I'm sure there were discounts. And you gotta remember, this was an electric car, so there were federal tax credits. At least $7,500. And my Wigo in particular isn't exactly the best example. It had only 10,000 miles on it, but there's 10,000 battle-hardened miles. The previous owner of this car owned a heating and cooling company, and he bought it through the business to use for the business to go get estimates and run about and stuff. He also used it as a daily driver and whatnot. And he put quite a few stars on it. He also told me that he would have kept it if it was a pickup because it would have been more useful to him, but I imagine he was just sick of it. I would be too after 4 years. And I'd like to tell you about the car now because if you've ever heard of it at all, you likely know very little about it.
The first model Wigo produced was called the Whip. It went on sale in 2009 with a range of 40 miles and a max speed of just 25. It was designated a low-speed vehicle and could only be used on streets with a speed limit of 35 or less, depending on the state. It was basically a fancy golf cart, but it was a good stopgap for Wigo to make some income while figuring out safety regulations.
Later on, after they got all the government regulations stuffed out, they introduced this, the Light. It's basically the same car as the Whip, but it has more safety, more range, more power, and highway capability. It has a 30 kilowatt-hour LiFePO 4 battery, hence the name, giving it a range of 100 miles, and it has a motor that produces 60 horsepower and 95 torque. Unfortunately, it weighs 2,800 pounds. It has a top speed of exactly 65. If you go over 65, it will use regen braking to slow you back down. And it takes a while to get there. The 0 to 60 time is, well, I don't know, but it's slow. It's highway capable, not highway efficient. Wigo Electric Cars Incorporated was formed as a spin-out of rough and tough electric vehicles, a manufacturer of battery-powered recreational electric vehicles. I got that directly from Wikipedia. As a cash-strapped startup, they didn't exactly have enough money to build a car from scratch, so what they did instead was they imported the body shell of an existing car from an existing car company. And that's where the problem began. Because the existing car company they chose was Shuanghuan, a stereotypical Chinese car company. Let me briefly introduce to you some of the cars that Shuanghuan has made.
There's the CEO, which looks nothing like the BMW X5, says the Chinese government. There's this small SUV, which they brazenly named the SRV. And the Wigo, well, the Wigo is based off the Shuanghuan Noble, which, yeah.
The conversion from Noble to the electric Light is pretty thorough. It started out with replacing the rear seats and under-seat storage with a literal truckload of batteries. So you can even still see the hooks in here where the rear seat used to attach to. There's even more batteries underneath the car. Under the hood, they swapped out the engine and transmission, which were probably invisible, with the motor and gearbox. As a side note, the hood hinges are so stiff they're holding the hood up without the rod. To meet safety regulations, they had to structurally reinforce the body shell that they got from China. I have no idea what they had to do. I just know that they had to do it. And I cannot find crash test ratings for this car anywhere. I assume they exist because it's on the road, but I can't find them. They replaced the headlights with these DOT regulation headlights that are already cloudy and full of water.
In the cabin, they replaced the instrument cluster with this custom-made informational screen. It had a radio that they presumably bought at Best Buy. For direction controls, they fused the shifters, and I'm pretty sure they stole it from a 95 Lexus. The last two notches are even blocked out. The rest of the interior is all Shuanghuan and terrible.
They've done a pretty thorough job of rebadging the car to Wigo, although the rear Wigo badge is delaminating, the front one's missing entirely. The Wigo sticker on my key fob peeled off to reveal the Shuanghuan logo, and there's evidence around the car of Wigo stickers covering up old Shuanghuan stickers. Now, I don't have a solid figure for how many Wigo lights exist, but according to one website I found, the combined sales figure for Wigo Whip and Light was somewhere around 400. So using the power of guessing, I'm going to say